Welcome back, dumbass. This is the next video, second video to how Rate My Chase is made. What we're going to talk about today are the cop radar markings. Now, obviously, as you can see, I've chosen the hate mail and bio chase out of complete randomness. So, as you can see, we go up every time that we see a cop. These labels come up that slightly go up. They disappear after 5 seconds, and they go. Now, how is that made? Let's go to the actual hate mail and bio chase right here, how it was edited. So, basically, when it came to warrant markers or cop markers, again, as I said in the last video, you have to go through the entire video that you have on Sony Vegas. And I forgot to say in the last video that when you go and do your censoring, you can also track each cop that is in the chase, for example. So what we're gonna do here, because I don't want to hear myself again, but you start the clip, obviously. Mute all that, actually. Yeah. So, as you can see here, when you start the video, every time that you see a warrant, or a cop, or a vigilante or something, you can press M to put these markers on the timeline. Let's start with the first cop. As you can see there, Chaggery is in the chase now. When you spot the cop, you want to put a marker in the first frame that he appears, or he or she appears, as you see there. You would then press M. There's already a marker there. You go through the entire timeline, and it's better if you watch and not skim, because you may miss a cop. But here, obviously, next one, you see victim in arrest 10. You keep on going, you keep watching. Bio is a warrant, he comes in the chase. Elephant, you do this for every single cop. There are some times where it's very dense, the amount of cops that you may see on the screen, and it's obvious it's in front of City Hall, and all that. So, let's go back to Chaggery right here. So what you want to do, as you can see, obviously, you have the score, the arrests, the connect time, and all that. That is what we, okay. Yes, that is what we have as info for the cop, and it's been the same since the very beginning for the most part. So from season 1 to season 3, this is we'll get into the fonts for a bit, but yeah, for season 1 to actually almost all of season 4, what we did to add that was you right click on the timeline, you press insert text media, and that's on the screen right there. You would then, I think the font at this time was Roboto. Just keep it, just want to show you that. Just keep it like that for a second. So, I'll show you what I do in a bit. Let me just say what goes in here. So, the cop radar, name of the cop, Chaggery. He's an LB police car. His score, amount of arrests he has, his connect time. Now, that's the near final product. Now, obviously, this would be a lot smaller. But what I do with this is I type every, at the very end, I do a preset. I don't know what the preset is here. I do a preset. I type this, leave this empty. score, arrests, connect time. And then I copy this over and over again. Leave a space in between, not two. Because obviously there will be a lot of cops and a lot of rate my chases. You know, obviously here there's many markers here signifying many cops. Let's put Shaggery's name in here. Obviously he was in an LV police car. You want to use Notepad for this. You don't really want to use Microsoft Word, because, you know, when you go into this text media right here and you see Shaggery here, here's the final product. It's very small, obviously, but the size of the font is 5. If you do it in Microsoft Word, you have to match the font, or else whatever font you have in Microsoft Word is going to overwrite what you have here. Plus, you know, Notepad is very non-invasive, so you have that. Now, back before we did, we used the flash stats. The flash stats ever since the end of 2020 have been dead. So we have to use Skimmer's tool right here. Because obviously, as you can see, the elements here, you see score, you see percentage of time played, or percentage of whatever it is, like percentage of total score in Las Venturas. This is in the Las Venturas city. So, you know, whatever rate my chase, wherever the target city was, is what the stats would reflect. So what you would do is go to the DNR stats. You see Shaggery right here, and for every cop, you know, because the markers here are so that you can go back and see the names of each cop that were in the chase. You go back to Notepad, and you got to take your calculator out. All right. So obviously this is like the mental math type thing. So you would look at Shaggery right here. He's got 776 score in LB. You see his arrests. It doesn't really matter what order you do it. There's 162 arrests in LB, and he is 63 hours and 17 minutes in LB. Now, obviously, the percentage of score he has in LB relative to total, 776 divided by 3676. That would be 21% of his score is in LB. For arrests, same thing, 162 at 870. That would be 19% of his in LB. Now for the time, now this is where you can use mental math if you want. You know, I round these to the nearest percent. So 18.6 would round to 19, 21 rounds, 21.1 rather rounds down to 21. Now this, you know, I was good at math as a kid. Roughly 17 minutes out of 60. We gotta do obviously 63 point. Now you don't put 0.17 because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So it's 17 out of 60, not out of 100. So you don't do that. You just roughly in your head think, okay. You really wouldn't go through this convoluted like okay, 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour. 20 is a third. So let's say what's between 0.25 and 0.33 equidistant is like 0.29 divided by his total playtime, 212 hours, and you know, same kind of thing, 18 minutes out of 60. If you do actual math, you know, we'll be here all day. 9 out of 30 is like 27 out of 100, I believe. Let's just do that, 27. And that would be your percentage, be 30% played in Las Venturas. Let's just see how much different that is from his time before, because this is back in 2018 sometime. He hasn't really played all that much since then, but you know, they're really in line. He's played LB a lot more, or done more in LB. But obviously you can be anal about it and just do the percentages. 17 out of 60, and then 18 out of 60. So it would be 63.17. Excuse me, that's exactly what I just said not to do. 63.28 divided by 212.3. You know, we're still in the same, you know, we're still very close. 29.8, 29.8, it's just different decimal points. Once you get those percentages, you put them here, and then you would copy paste it. You'd open this, what's it called? Generated media. You just copy paste it in there. I'm not going to do it there. But you just copy paste it in there, and you do it. You do the same thing for all of the cops in the Raid My Chase. Same thing with the warrants, hate mail, the warrants. You know, you see the same thing right here. I wouldn't do it for the special guest camera person. It's not really relevant. Like, for example, you know, but for warrants, you know, you see the score, connect time, times arrest. That's kind of relevant to them being a warrant. But for the cops, you know, score, arrest, connect time. You do the same thing for the rest of the cops in the chase. I did the Rate My Chase appearances thing. It's kind of a bit tedious because you need to know prior how many episodes a player was in before, and you know what was their last episode. Not too sure why I did that. Probably some people could have been interested to see a player in a previous episode. I mean, you know, here Opia Noviamagus, second Rate My Chase. He was last in Chase Trials. This guy first time, Pure Blue first time. Lead the Titans have been 5. This is his 5th one. The last time was in the Notepad Beverly Chronicles Part 1. All that. So that's basically what you do for every cop. You make every label for this. So this is morphed over time a little bit. Experimented with the size of the font itself. From the, I believe, yeah, from the start, no. From Chase Trials at the end of Season 3 to the near end of Season 4, I used Roboto for the cop radar, and it's been this color roughly. From Season 1, we're gonna go to Agent M here. It's a very popular chase. From Season 1 to the near end of Season 3, I used Microsoft Sans Serif. Now this is the default font for Vegas. I use the default font a lot. This is default. Let's go to one of the most overrated chases, I think, in my opinion. So for Chase Trials, which was the end of Season 3, and at the beginning of Season 4, I colored this green. I think in Chase Trials, I meant to have it green, but I thought about keeping it, and then I was like, okay, well, cops probably shouldn't have green, so I switched it back to blue. And one more thing, at the end of Season 4, which I think I'll bring up one of the chase showcases right here. I just want to show the last way I showed the cop radar, because I did change. I wanted to change some things. Okay, license 2, obviously. I wanted to change some things at the end of Season 4. So, obviously, as I said before, what I did was right-click to insert text media for the cop radar. But as the end of Season 4 happened, as Season 4 went on, I went and used ProType Titler more often. And I don't want to say it's less laggy, but it looks a bit more interesting. So I changed the font to Rasputin. I downloaded a bunch of fonts near the end of Season 4, and I wanted to pick one. I had to pick one. I picked Rasputin, basically the same color, and trying to figure out, you know, as you can see, obviously, when these, you know, when the copywriter goes up, the text goes up for 5 seconds and it disappears, like it slides out. The animation is just very simply slide up. You know, if I wanted to slide right, it didn't. Hold on. If I wanted to slide right, yeah, there you go, Chivo sliding right. Slide down. I don't think I've ever used that before. I did use slide left and right at one point, but I used slide up for most of it. With ProType Titler, I wanted to slide up as well. And I'm trying to figure out where the effect even is to even use it. I suppose it's you press these 4 little buttons here when you have the ProType Titler, and you drag slide up somewhere, and it shows you how it slides and how it leaves. So it's basically the same thing. It goes up in the same fashion as it did before. But so there have been different looks for the comp radar and all that, but that's basically the gist of what it is. Next video, we're gonna look at the evolution of the cop in the vicinity marker. So you've seen the censoring, you've seen the traversing through the video, you've seen the cop radar, you know, when the cops come from the screen and the animation right there. Next, we're going to go with the cop in the vicinity marker. Where did it come from? Where did its origin come from? And how has it evolved over the seasons? That'll be next on How Rate My Chase is Made. Thanks for watching.